once before. This is, despise not the day of small beginnings. Um, I'm coming on here to talk about the gender war in the diaspora. And I want to give a definition of diaspora. I just want to make sure, and I'm going to go ahead and look it up and get the definition on my phone. Diaspora. I love that word. Uh, and all um, uh, um, diaspora, the definition of diaspora, the dispersion of any people from their original homeland. And frankly, we're all, whatever your race is, we are the diaspora of Africa. Um, Scientists are in agreement that life began in Africa, or human life at least began in Africa. I'm convinced that the fabled Garden of Eden is in Africa. Well, was in Africa. But I came on the live to talk to you about gender wars in the diaspora. And the diaspora I'm speaking about is those of recent African ancestry, Black people, all over this world. And my concern stems from the fact that we continue to lament that we are struggling in the year of our Lord 2022 still as a community. Now, Black people are not a monolith. Matter of fact, the most genetically diverse continent in this world is Africa. Before the Atlantic slave trade, there were tribes who warred with one another. Just because we're Black don't mean we're gonna get along, but we have to get along. It's not up for debate. It's not a luxury. It's not something that you just, you know what, I'm gonna help my people. It's a requirement. I remember I was meeting with this group about Eckhart Tolle, and I was the only Black woman in the place. And I was surrounded by white people who were all searching for the same thing, the airy fairy idea of enlightenment. And a white man said to me, what do you think we should do about, what do you think should be done about not we, but what do you think should be done about the problem in the ghetto? Okay, so we're here for a consciousness discussion, for a discussion regarding a book about enlightenment. You are not your body, you are not that mind, you're not those memories, you're not those thoughts, you're not those emotions. But you're going to sit here and ask me, it was a bad idea. Ask me what should be done about the issue in the ghetto. The only Black women, I don't know, maybe. Let me fix my glasses. It was very bad for him on that day. Not even bad. I just let him know the problem in the ghetto is a human problem. It is not a Black person's problem. Get on that. You want to know what to do about the problem in the ghetto? Get on that. Don't go down in the ghetto getting, the ghetto. Don't go down there being the white savior. Ask your representatives what's going on. Look at what's going on with the system. Educate yourself regarding why people, why they find themselves, well, not even that, what we find ourselves, why our indicators, the statistics, the numbers show that we're faring as well as those, as others. Educate yourself, and then just have it be unacceptable that any person or a group of people are considered somehow less human, less worthy. Um, but I do digress, which is what I do. He asked about the race problem, and I let him know that's not my problem because my skin is black. It is a problem that the human race finds themselves in this predicament, and I want to talk about a few things. Um, I was motivated to do this live because of what I've been seeing on these social media platforms. It's hot in here, y'all. Sorry, y'all don't. On these social media platforms. I'm disheartened, especially by TikTok. You go on these platforms and you see these black men taking every opportunity to say why they would not have a black woman, deliver them from a black woman. They would not have a black woman if they were pregnant with her. They wouldn't have a black woman on a plane saying I am. They wouldn't have her on a train saying I am. Who asked you, sir? Why are you on this platform created by China, who does not have the best racial record, human rights record? And you don't want to get on there and just be silly. I mean, frankly, I understand. Don't nobody want to hear proselytizing and preaching. When it's time to have fun, they want to have fun. So I understand fun, but why is your fun all about degrading me as a black woman? When the portal that allowed your ass through was a black woman. So TikTok, when you go to TikTok and you go into those little cracks and crevices, those dark places, TikTok is the willing colonization of the mind. Point of fact, if you are not consciously and actively deprogramming yourself with the stuff that you see each day that reinforces that you are less than because your skin is black, in these subtle ways, every day, your senses are assaulted, and you don't even know it, with the idea that black is less than and white is what you should aspire to be. Even as these women are getting their butts enhanced and their lips plumped up, what they will not relinquish is the fact that all of that looks much better with white skin on it. And what pisses me off to no end is these young black men with no connection and no idea of who they are supposed to be, telling these young black women, these people, my niece's age, my granddaughter's age, telling us, we don't want y'all. You're not good enough for us. And then, this makes sense to them, uplifting the race of women who are supposedly their oppressors. All we hear when we have one more martyr in this community is how he was accused of rape. Emmett Till, anyone? He whistled at me. And then the extension of that, I felt threatened. I felt afraid. I feared for my life. That's so you, and then I'm supposed to not only allow my body to be broken down carrying you. Should I choose to breastfeed you, I am still sustaining you. You are alive because I feed and nurture you. But you don't see the connection between the health of your overall community and your idea that the problem in the community, the problem in this world even, is Black women. I take issue. I take MF an issue, and I'm going to do all I can not to get the cursing all the way up and down this video. I don't appreciate what I'm seeing. I don't appreciate that I see my in these schools. I'm the mother of 3 military brats. And anybody who knows that if you have military brats, military children, they will be going to integrated schools, well integrated. They will be surrounded by various cultures. And when I tell you, these black girls cannot look at black men, young black boys and say, I can tell you that to your face. These young girls cannot say, can't even say, even if he chooses his preference, he's got my back. That is a fact. And I had to sit and really think about this thing. I thought about it. I was like, Trisha, is this really honestly new, or is this something that you are just understanding from the perspective that you have now with all of the knowledge and experience that you gain in your life, looking at what really is going on? I want to share the story. I went to Vaughn Road Elementary School back in 1976, 75, somewhere around there, and it was integrated by that time. Of course, integration was still pretty fresh, especially down in Alabama. But I was going to Vaughn Road Elementary, little old girl, little gangly thing, and you know, we were all sitting at lunch, and there was this young lady, this young white girl, sitting across from me. Sitting beside her was a little black boy. We're all the same age. And his jacket is in the chair. So they are supposedly little old self's boyfriend and girlfriend. And his jacket was in the chair. And he looks over at me. Now my little old self was just totally oblivious. I eat my food. He says to me, "You better not touch my jacket." And he gets up and goes to get it. I can't remember what he was going to get. The little white girl pushed his jacket on the floor while looking at me in a very evil fashion. He comes back and does my forehead like that. Now, when I tell you that is not the last story I've had at the hands of black males telling me I am hideous and ugly and unworthy. But I still managed to marry a black man and have 3 black children. Now, when you talk about these men and their preferences, when you hear them, especially on the Manosphere or the podcast, they talk about how black women made fun of them and black women, when I was young, they didn't, black women didn't like me. But, and and I just want to make it very clear, I'm not saying I'm against interracial marriage. My mother was married to a white man for over 30 years. I am fully aware of interracial marriages. I have cousins married to white people, female black cousins married to white men, male cousins married to. That's not the issue. The issue I have is this idea that not even the idea. This whole thing where what's the you what is the word? Poisoning the well. Poisoning the well. That's what I'm trying to come up with. And I know my thoughts are going to be disjointed. The concentration is not the best right now, but y'all work with me. But anyway, so poisoning the well. So you can't. So if you so okay. My point go back to my point, or what I was the subject I was on was the idea that they made fun of me, and so any black woman will tell you, any child will tell you that bullying goes on, people make fun of you, and this sort of thing that goes on. You don't see a man this black and if a black woman was to get on and talk about she does not like about black men. When I tell you that the retribution is swift from both black men and black women when she does so, I'm watching something. I'm being weird. I feel like I'm being gaslighted because I mean, I was raised that black men and black people were my responsibility. I have a responsibility and allegiance to the community to conduct myself in a fashion that is exemplary. That's what I learned once. And to stay on code, as they say. So something happens to a black person, I'm supposed to stand up and fight, to speak out, to speak up on behalf of my people. That same allegiance, and we can have this argument, that same allegiance is not afforded us as black women. I take issue with the shit that's going on in our community. We are owed much more than what's going on in this. If you can't do nothing else, shut your mouth. Keep your mouth off of me. If you can't do nothing else with your weak ass, keep your mouth off of me. I'm watching this shit taking place, and y'all, it's sickening. And people are, and there's so many black men want to get dismissive. So many of the black men who understand what I'm saying want to say these just few knucklehead. You can't let people get in your mind. I'm talking about the overall effect of all of this. I'm not talking about just because y'all will act like, okay, she getting started. This is not a small thing that's going on, and so I'm gonna have to ask black women to start requiring more. There was a young lady that was murdered. I can't think of, and that's one of the other things that triggered this. And I'm gonna have to get off because I'm feeling kind of woof. In a few minutes, but let me look her up. I can't remember. It was a young lady. I'm just gonna tell the story, and then I'll provide the link. Um, if I remember, let me write that down. Provide the link. Um, She met a guy online, and ended up dead. Now she's a black woman and he was a white man. She was a beautiful young lady. She was so pretty. She was dark skinned. It's another conversation we need to have. Um, she ended up dead. She went to meet the man. Apparently, they were having sex. I don't know. Drugs were involved. She ended up dead, and the authorities were trying to sweep this investigation, sweep this whole thing under the rug without any investigation. Do you know that there are black men online saying that's what she get? You can't keep your mouth off me. When I murdered, when I'm beaten, I remember the football player, the white football player married to a black woman who beat her. That's what she get. What if I were to say of Ahmaud Arbery, that's what he get? What if I was to say of George Floyd, that's what he get? Or for any of the thousands of black men in this country who are incarcerated behind some old bullshit, that's what he get. How long would it be before the community tore me a new one? Lickety split, I guarantee you. And when I tell you this black woman who's speaking right now is one that used to say, you're black first. Before you're a woman, you're black. Before you're a man, you're black. Before you are gay, straight, bi, trans, whatever, you black. But I don't say that no more. Because I see the effect. I see the disparity between the genders in our community, and it is a real thing, and it is a problem. A house divided against itself will not stand no kind of way. And if you can't do nothing else, you ought to be able to keep your mouths from gnashing on people who look like your mother. And mother issues, mommy issues in the black community amongst black men, the mommy issues that they aren't dealing with, that's causing a whole lot of bullshit. But okay, let me see. Oh, and before I get off, because I was about to get off because that's my favorite. I'm done. I've said my piece. Amen. Bye. Um, when did we have mass healing in the diaspora? Have there been any in-depth studies on how slavery, the effects of slavery? Everybody talking about reparations. I need to understand. I need to understand how you think that a human being treated as an animal, generation after generation, learning how to be an animal. That knowledge of, instead of the knowledge of how to hunt, instead of the knowledge of self, instead of how to master your mind, to subdue your surroundings and to bring to fruition your vision. Instead of that, you're being told what's being passed down to you is how not to appear threatening, or how not to piss off this person, or how not to do, how to make yourself small and of use. Watching, I'm gonna say, when I tell you that when you're growing up as a child, your grandparents and parents are your heroes. They can't do no wrong, but you understand that when a certain type of person comes around, their demeanor changes. Your hero is now addressing some 2-year old as Miss this, Miss that. What does that do to a child's mind? That their heroes diminish themselves in the presence of what you see as an unsubstantial creation. What's special about that person? I don't understand what's going on. All of these subliminal, subconscious, all of this that's passed down. And you want to talk to me about what's ailing us? Baby, what you need to be doing is studying how we are so full of strength. What you need to be doing is seeing how you can become superhuman like me, how you can get like me. I'm not superhuman. I'm very, you know what I'm saying? It's, when did we have this mass healing event? When was this whole slavery thing studied? This Jim Crow thing studied? This lynching thing studied? And when was it determined how, the effects that sort of thing has on the mind, and what can we do to heal it? When did that take place? As I understand it, for the most part, slaves were freed. They had to make their own way. Since nobody wants to pay them or treat them like they deserve to make a living just like everyone else, especially in the South, well, then they ended up being sharecroppers, because that was the work that was they were allowed to do. There's a place in Texas, and I can't remember what it was, but the Native Americans don't eat the peaches on those trees. And we got to, they had to, because thousands of free Black people starved to death. And their bodies fed those trees, and the Native Americans said it is tainted. We don't eat those. Now I got to find that, and I got to provide the link. They were left. Our ancestors were left to fend for themselves, and I'm gonna go ahead and then looking at the fruit of a thing, because Jesus said you're gonna know the tree by the fruit. Looking at the fruit of what they've done and see how we are where we are now. I think they did their duty with a plume. They survived. Not even survived. They thrived. But we have not had a mass healing or a study or any attempt to try to understand this god awful in our hearts, because there's a reason you have that preference. And it is wholly toxic and unhealthy. To love someone is not toxic. You love who you love, but there's a reason why you have that preference or you're drawn to that thing. And to say that that's not true is disingenuous. So this is a conversation that has to be had. It's not something that is just a small thing. It never was. When I tell you that story about me as a little girl, I got dozens of those stories of being made to feel like because I am dark skinned or black and a woman that I'm not worthy. And that extends to my nieces and my granddaughters and my female relatives who I love, who deserve everything, who deserve the world. And let me, I'll be on here all night. Let me just wrap this. That's what I wanted to say. Y'all, come on, y'all, get on this. This is this right there. That's where our salvation lies. What I'm talking to you about, I am quite certain that's where our salvation lies. Reconciling the conditioning. Friend your mind so that your ass may follow. It needs to be done. I'm going to come back on live. I don't know when. I'm not going to announce because the fumbling that goes on when I do that, I just pop up, But think about that, y'all, and give me some comments. If you watch this video to this point, give me some comments on what you feel regarding this matter. And I hope y'all having a wonderful time. I've been seeing all of these beautiful accomplishments of your children and certainly been seeing the sad times too. And my condolences to those who've lost loved ones and who are having a hard time right now. God knows it's not easy. But I get so happy when I see y'all just out there accomplishing things, having fun, traveling, baby. Live your life while you're here on this side. Come on and enjoy yourself. Accomplish things. Don't be afraid to step out and do new things. I love to see it. All right, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. If y'all see this, like I said, give me some comments. Talk to me about it. Let's have a discussion if we're gonna have it. All righty. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I gotta learn how to navigate this whole thing. So I'm gonna end it if I can. Let's see here. Oh, look, I see where I can create polls. Okay, let me create. Let me see if I can create a poll before I get off. No, my computer is behaving too badly. I'll do it on my phone if I do it at all. Let's see. I'm gonna end it. Y'all take care. Till next time.